Hi, this is James Marsden, Managing Director of Futurlab, and you're watching Eurogamer.
What's up guys, Ian from Eurogamer here. Now if you follow me on Twitter you might have realised I'm not too fond of my PlayStation Vita. In fact there's been several times I've been close to trading it in thanks to the severe lack of worthwhile games for the system, and I probably would have done if not for this game, Velocity, a highly addictive space shooter with an awesome teleportation based gameplay twist made by Brighton based indie developers Futurlab, which weirdly isn't a PlayStation Vita game at all but a PS Mini. The game was a huge success, and now Futurlab are back with this. It's Velocity Ultra, a HD version made specifically for the Vita, and I managed to grab a telepod's load of exclusive early gameplay footage to show off to you guys, while James Marsden, the main man behind the game, tells us all about it. So James, you've described Velocity Ultra as more of a director's cut rather than a sequel. Can you let us know exactly what's been changed and what's been added?
People that did pick up Velocity and enjoyed it, a lot of that was the core audience on PlayStation, the kind of folks that enjoy collecting trophies and challenging their friends on leaderboards. So a lot of people asked for those exact things. Wouldn't it be great if this game had trophies and leaderboards? So we went to Sony and said this is what we'd like to do, and so we have trophies and leaderboards. Fortunately, because of the amount of content that we managed to squeeze into the original release, we qualified for a big game trophy set, so we've got a platinum trophy, which is pretty exciting. So you're gonna have to work pretty hard for that, for platinum. And we've also taken the opportunity to go back all of the artwork and rework the artwork with a unified art style. So one of the things that I thought worked really well in the original game was the cutscene still, kind of our take on a manga influenced cel shaded style, and we've taken that and we've improved it, but we've taken that across to the in-game assets as well. So we've redrawn all the assets in that style, so the game feels more coherent from start to finish.
The Vita has a few extra features over the PSP, mainly the front and rear touchscreens. Have you reworked the controls for Velocity Ultra to incorporate these at all?
We haven't reworked them as such, but we've included some things that people have asked for. So you can now use the right stick on the Vita to fling bombs, which we personally as game designers don't think is a good idea. We've put it in there so you can see why we don't think is a good idea. And the same with touchscreen for teleport, for short form teleport. So now rather than using a cursor, if you want to, you can just touch the screen and teleport there instantly, which in some cases does work, but it's inconsistent, and so it's there as an option in the options menu. Just to give you an example, if you're boosting through a fast level and you're holding R, you're not really doing much else in the level, so it frees you up to just teleport with your touch. But in levels where you need to fling bombs and shoot, having to take your finger off your buttons to touch the screen and then put your fingers back on the buttons again, it takes up too much time and it's clumsy, and that's why it doesn't work. But it's in there because you asked for it.
Obviously, one of the biggest changes with Velocity Ultra is its high-definition visual overhaul. Could you go into more detail on how the graphics have been changed and improved for the Vita version?
We hired a very talented technical director who's got a lot of experience on AAA titles, and especially rendering techniques and post-processing and things like that. And he's brought his expertise to Velocity Ultra, creating shader effects that light up the environment. We've also got a vignetting effect which focuses the gameplay, and we've also got a lighting effect that follows the ship, so as you're travelling around you're lighting up the environment a little bit. But the thing that really pops off the screen is the explosions. We've got some nice explosion lighting effects.
You mentioned earlier about online leaderboards for the game. It's something fans have been dying for, so how have they been implemented into Velocity Ultra?
Obviously we wanted to implement online leaderboards because a lot of people asked for it, and it does give longevity to a game. But the way that Velocity is designed, some of the levels result in people having exactly the same score. So for example, a speed level or critical urgency level, if you zip through by just holding the R button, it's controlling the scroll speed rather than the ship speed, and that's a fixed amount of velocity that you're travelling. If you manage to master the bomb flinging and hit the targets at the right time, then you're going to have the exact same score as someone else. So we came up with the idea of the Elite Lounge, which basically gives you an opportunity to reach the top of the leaderboard, and once you've reached that limit, rather than having 100 first places, we just stick them all in the Elite Lounge and call everyone awesome at this level. So you're in the Elite Lounge, and the way that's going to work is it's going to be organic. So when we release the game, we're not going to set that Elite Lounge target. We're going to let people set it themselves. So the first few people that play it will set that target, and then as soon as they're beaten, they'll get kicked out of the Elite Lounge and there'll be a new Elite Lounge created, which seems like a pretty sensible way of approaching the problem.
All the footage we've seen here is from an alpha build of Velocity Ultra, and you guys still need to put the finishing touches on the game. Exactly how long are eager fans going to have to wait before they can get their hands on the Velocity they've always wanted?
We're on track to deliver to Sony towards the beginning of April, but there's still loads to do. We've still got polish to add, we've still got testing. 50 levels of testing is going to take a long time, so we're not going to rush it. Hopefully May, the beginning of May.
And cost-wise, how much do you think it will retail for?
We're thinking, so we've asked a load of people, we've asked NeoGaf what they want to pay, and some people have said they'd be happy to pay a tenner for it, $10. Other people have been saying they'd be happy to pay around $7, so it's going to be around that area.
Thanks James, it's really nice to see a game that I've spent many hours enjoying doing so well, and this version is looking like a great progression from mini to proper Vita release. The fact that the majority of changes include what the game's core fanbase have asked for should be cause for celebration for those players who've smashed the scores on every level and want to prove how well they play via trophies and leaderboards. Plus, this jump to Vita game with nice shiny new graphics should persuade a brand new audience who are put off by the PS Mini stigma of the original, and the jumping graphical style from PS Mini pixel art to high definition anime action should also bring in younger players who may have found the retro graphics a turn-off rather than a nostalgic nod to gaming days of old. With no new levels added to the game, it could be a case of been there, done that for some players though, but when a game pretty much gets everything right the first time around, it does seem a little bit silly to change a winning formula. And best of all, it gives me another reason not to trade my PS Vita in until Futurlab hopefully provide us with the true sequel that they've been hinting at on their forums. If you fancy more exclusive gameplay previews, loads of live streams of this year's biggest and best games, and tons of exclusive interviews, why not click the subscribe button on the bottom of the screen and teleport over to Eurogamer's subscription page. See you next time.